Hey everybody, before the show starts, log on to musicmoneymakeover.com/shop to download all my books and free guides. And while you're there, make sure you click on the book a call tab to book a call with me to get all your questions answered and your problem solved. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. My name is Casey Graham, and this is a real quick impromptu episode. I got like notes and stuff I had to write down, but this one's about Dave Chappelle's Unforgiven speech, and I thought that I should bring this to the attention of everybody. Like, I just finished watching the video for the second time, and I'm going to address some things in his show that he said about name and likeness, and I'm going to cross-examine this thing with what they do in the music industry when it comes to name and likeness. So here it goes. All right, so I want you all as artists to understand, and then you all as independent record labels to understand this as well. This is for everybody in my community and everybody who signs contracts without reading them, or who has attorneys that they don't really know or trust that they have their best interests at heart. Let's dig into this name and likeness thing that he's talking about, and I'll flash some clips in and out for you all to make reference to.
You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the could possibly know what that means? Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central.
Now, when it comes to the name and likeness, they're going to ask for most record companies will ask for the permission to use your name and your likeness. But what is likeness? Well, likeness means resemblance in form, similitude. All right, the picture is a good likeness of the original. A resemblance, form, external appearance, guard against any enemy in the likeness of a friend. That's another example. Definition 3, one that resembles another, a copy, a counterpart. Okay, I took you for your likeness. Chloe, that's the name of the sentence. All right, definition 4, an image, a picture, statue, resembling a person or thing. Now that you understand the likeness, they need the right to use your name and likeness. All right, in perpetuity throughout the universe. That's what Dave Chappelle said. All right, so now that the name thing, that can come back to you. Dave Chappelle, you can use your name anywhere you want to. They need the right to use it. But the likeness was the Chappelle Show. And that's what Comedy Central or the Viacom network owned. It's usually what happens when you sign a record contract and they say they can use your name and likeness is the copy of. That's the album that you do. You can't get that back. Let's say you do your first album and it's called ABC1. All right, you can't go and take ABC1 unless you buy it back from the record company and go to another company or distribute it on your own. That record company owns that for the life on the life. Now we have another definition we got to look up right here, because and the rest of it the video will go much faster than this after we look up this one sentence Dave said. So universe, I'm doing this on the fly, as you all can tell. What does universe mean? The right to use your name and likeness throughout, looking at my notes, in perpetuity throughout the universe. Well, according to Webster's 1828 dictionary, the collective name of heaven and earth and all that belongs to them, the whole system of created things. Heaven is very, very huge, depending on the definition of it. It is the entire cosmos. What would you be doing with the likeness of something throughout the universe? So in my opinion, when I do my contracts, I love to use worldwide. I don't like to use the term universe, because who's listening in universe? Are you sending this to Mars? You sending it to Venus? What are you sending this material to? They got TVs on Mars? What's happening that we don't know about? So that's universe. Now, Netflix and HBO streams this show.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I call Lauren Michaels and I tell him, okay, I'll do it. I'll do Saturday Night Live on election night. And the day I made that phone call, the day I committed to it, it gets announced that Netflix is streaming Chappelle Show. Not just Netflix, HBO Max is streaming it too.
That means they had to get permission from Viacom to do so. HBO is not a part of Viacom, neither is Netflix, but they had to talk and communicate with Viacom to be able to make this deal happen. What a play that happens because Dave Chappelle appears on Saturday Night Live the day they announce it. Once he makes the phone call, they knew that that media play was in full effect. They said if they could agree to get Dave to be able to perform on Saturday Night Live, it would be the perfect place to announce that they would now be streaming the show on Netflix and HBO Max. When any of these networks or any of these record companies say that they want to use the show, they can pay the dollars that's necessary. All right? They can just transfer it. So artists, this is the same thing for you. When you sign a record deal with an indie record label, they can sell your contract to the major record label, and that's how you get a bigger deal. All right? And vice versa. You know, if you have a contract with a major record label, and here's the kicker that most of you all don't know, and you haven't recouped on your albums yet, but they can't find anything else to do with you, they want to get you off the roster, they will sell your contract and the debt that you still have left to another record company, or they will agree to do that. You know, it's just like athletes in trading. Just like if you ever seen the movie Moneyball. That's what can happen. You say, hey, I want out from this record company. And the record company will say, okay, give me this X number of dollars right here. And you say, I don't have it. Well, you have to go borrow that money from somewhere to pay the debt that you have left. You got to go right around to another record company to have them pay your remaining debt plus give you another advance. Okay? This is what owning name and likeness means. If you have debt on your likeness, the material of your name that bears your name, you are liable for that debt. You must pay that debt back. All right? If you do not, they will own it forever and you won't get your royalties, your artist royalties that you're supposed to get. He questions Comedy Central. Did Comedy Central have to pay him?
People think I made a lot of money for Chappelle Show. When I left that show, I never got paid. They didn't have to pay me because I signed the contract.
No, they didn't. Legally, they didn't. Just like a record company. Like, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not in a contract that they have to pay you for other licensing of the show, or in your case, licensing of your music elsewhere, if it's not in your contract that they're not going to pay you for your licensing, then they're not. If you're not getting royalties, then you're not going to get any royalties. All right? So you got to pay attention to what's in your contract. Now, he equates it to going from one plantation to another plantation because the other master may be nicer.
When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, fuck them, Dave. Why don't you just do Chappelle Show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer.
I just explained it to you. If you're indebted to one plantation, but you want to go to another plantation and you still have debt, what you gonna do, right? You don't have enough money to pay your debt. Let's say if you're not in debt and you need to, you want to continue your career because the record label has built all this up for you with all their money and they own your name and likeness, but you want to go elsewhere. Well, you can get your royalties from that record label still. Let's say you paid everything back. But now you have to upkeep this stature that the first record company built for you. It's very hard to do that independently and on your own, so you need the power of another record label. So that means you got to go and sign your name and likeness again. Likeness meaning the product that you make will be owned by them forever and they get the right to use your name. Okay? So, you go from one bank to the next, one plantation to the next, one debt holder to the next. All right? Because it takes a lot of money to run things in this entertainment industry the way it's done. All right? Now, he also says, can't call it Chappelle Show because name and likeness is used throughout the universe.
I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle Show. Well, but if I do, I can't call it Chappelle Show because my name and likeness is being used by them in perpetuity throughout the universe. It's in the contract.
And that is true. You can't call it the Chappelle Show if you want to come back, because Comedy Central owns the likeness, which is the Chappelle Show. They don't own Dave Chappelle, they just own the show. Okay? And, you know, he also says if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And I'm telling you, artists, that you all sometimes have to do things on your own. You can't depend on the label to do everything for you. Okay? This is how the name and likeness works in record deals. Once you look up the definition of this stuff, you will understand contracts. It's always important to have a dictionary with you. The name, Casey Graham. The show, the likeness is the Music Money Makeover Show. You get it? My name is Casey Graham, but the likeness of me is this video that you're watching in the Music Money Makeover Show. All right? So Dave Chappelle, you know, is explaining what name and likeness is, and I think that you artists should take a look at his Unforgiven special. All right? I'll see you all next week. Peace. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the show. Make sure you log on to musicmoneymakeover.com/shop to download all my books and free guides. And while you're there, click on the Book a Call tab to book a call with me to get all your questions answered and problems solved. I'll see you all soon.